Hey guys, it's 242 here, and today I'm going to read you 3 stories from the subreddit Am I the Butthole? So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy these stories. So our first story will be, Am I the butthole for threatening to kick my sister and her children out during a global pandemic? My 20 female sister, 30 female, has 2 kids, 5 female and 7 male. She recently divorced her husband and is temporarily staying with me because she has nowhere else to go. She could have moved in with our parents, but for some reason, she decided to stay with me for a few days. A few days turned into months because of this pandemic, and so here we are. I honestly don't mind. I love her and I love her kids. What I can't stand is her behavior. Bear with me. This is going to sound very bizarre. My sister is very religious. She has a Facebook group, a WhatsApp group, and Instagram where she has about 5,000 followers. She's probably also on Reddit and many other social media. Usually, she's nice and sweet, but lately she's become somewhat crazy. She has these sessions with her kids every few days. These sessions last about a half an hour. During these sessions, she teaches her kids about the LGBTQ community. Not good things, but she teaches them about how being gay is a sin and all that. Being transgender is a disease, avoid being affected, etc. She tells them to repeat words after her and then makes a video and uploads it everywhere. It's very, very bizarre. She gets a lot of likes on social media where like-minded people praise her and upload similar videos of having these sessions with their kids. She's part of this group trying to
lead the new generation to the right path.
Her little daughter, who is 5, has the sentence memorized.
Being gay is a sin, you will burn in hell,
is her answer if I ask her, what do you think about gay people? The problem is, I'm bisexual. My sister conveniently forgets that.
No, you're not. You'll get over it when you meet the right person,
is what she'll tell me when I mention it. This is my house. I will not tolerate her disrespecting me in my own house. I told her that as long as she's staying in my house, eating my food, using my things, she's not allowed these sessions in my living room. This has led to a massive argument where she bragged about her followers, refuses to listen to me, insults me, and refuses to apologize. I ended up threatening her. I told her she can't live here if she behaves this way, which made her cry. Now I'm the heartless, selfish butthole in my family who threatened to kick her poor divorced sister and her little kids out in the middle of a global pandemic. I would obviously never do that to her. I only want her to stop being homophobic. Besides, she can always go to our parents. I have apologized countless times, even to my parents, but I'm repeatedly being called heartless. Am I the butthole for wanting my sister to stop being homophobic? Am I the butthole for threatening her to get her to stop? No, OP. You're not the butthole in this situation. You have told her to stop. She hasn't. It is your right to feel safe in your own home, and she has made it a situation where you are no longer safe in your own home. It's your right to say what the rules of the house is, because you pay the bills, you pay for the food, you pay for everything. It is your home. Let's see what the comments say. Fumble Shamobol says, not the butthole. No, you're not heartless. Your sister is the butthole who thinks it's more important that she keeps running hateful, bigoted sessions that are direct offense to you in your home rather than simply stop and keep a roof over her children's heads. If she ends up kicked out, it will be through her own actions. So the last one, which the name is very complicated, so I'm just going to say Age Style 20. I'd kick her out like she probably would if her kids were LGBTQ, like the hundreds of thousands of kids who are kicked out by like-minded parents. As someone who is non-binary queer person, and as someone who has helped my friends identify in the LGBTQ community get housing and donations, I'd just like to say that your sister can go find housing on her own if she thinks it's okay to treat any human being like this, let alone teach her children to treat people who are different that way. So our next story is, am I the butthole for walking out of a job interview? Around this time last year, I was in the job hunt and looking for a tech sales position in my area. I had been in this career for about 10 years and had recently been laid off. I was granted an interview at a recently large startup downtown. And after the initial phone screen, I did my research and went on site for my in-person interview. Admittedly, I got there about 25 minutes early, which was pushing obnoxious, but nobody was at the front desk. So I signed in using my iPad, took a seat, and waited. I waited until the time of my interview, got up, looked around, and started trying to get the attention of people walking around, as nobody had acknowledged me to this point. At 15 minutes past my interview schedule time, a lady came into the lobby and asked what I was there for. I let her know I had an interview scheduled for 15 minutes ago. She asked me to hold on and went back into the office, and a few minutes later, she came back with an agenda with materials laid out about the company. The agenda confirmed that we were supposed to have already started and that I had 2 interviewers in the next 30-minute blocks. A new person came over and sat me in a room and told me to read over the material to get familiar. I did this for about 45 minutes, and when the VP of sales didn't show up to interview me, I got ticked, stood up, and left. I found my way to the front desk, told the person who was not there before and had likely no idea who I was that I was ending my interview and to have a great day. About 15 minutes later, I got a frantic call from the recruiter saying the VP was looking for me and that they wanted to start my interview. I answered that if they weren't willing to respect my time, then I knew all I needed to know about what working there would be like. I told several folks this story, and it's been a 50-50 on whether or not I did the right thing or that I don't know the circumstances, and that I could have stuck around and at least interviewed and let them know later on. Am I the butthole? I don't think the OP is the butthole in this situation. If there was circumstances, they could have also told him. There was no one up front to talk to. It didn't seem like they even knew there was an interview to begin with. So I think OP made the right choice and probably dodged a bullet. Let's read some comments then. Tearsedges says, not the butthole. From the sounds of it, they were there for an hour plus, late, and didn't offer any reason while you were there. That's an enormous red flag. SK9592 says, agreed, not the butthole. People don't understand the job interview goes both ways. The interviewee gets to judge the company as well. The company terribly failed the interview. And that's really what all the comments are saying, is that OP really did make the right choice here. So our last story is, am I the butthole for praising my son differently than my daughter? I, a 52 male, am the father of 3 kids, a 15 female, a 7 female, and a 7 male. The last 2 were twins and are very close, having a tendency to copy each other. I love and adore all of them equally. My son is not a very masculine kid and is less interested in some of my hobbies because of this. He has always preferred whatever his mother and older sister did, like baking or dancing. I have no problem with this. I love him as he is. But to be honest, I am slightly disappointed that we haven't had any kind of amazing father-son bonding that I got to have with my grandpa. My dad died when I was pretty young, when I was a kid. Since I'm at home almost all the time now, I've been seeing just how feminine his interests have gotten. asking to help cook every meal, helping his older sister alter secondhand clothes, and playing pretend. He's even asked to have his sister paint his nails. I'm not upset or bothered by it, but it isn't typical for young boys. I've been working out at home instead of at the gym because of our current circumstances. And when my son came in while I was lifting weights in the family room, he showed an interest in it. He was excited about the idea of having big muscles and tried some of the 5-pound ones, even though he mentioned being like She-Ra from the new Netflix reboot, I think. It is still progress in my eyes, and it seemed like he was showing interest in masculine hobbies. I praised him and did the whole, "Wow, you're so strong" thing in kid talk to encourage him. When his sister walked in, the twin, 7 female, joined in. Like I said, they have the tendency to want to do whatever the other is doing, so she expected the same kind of, "Wow, you're so strong" stuff. When I wasn't as enthusiastic with her and focused on my son, my oldest got annoyed and asked me why I'm treating them differently. I explained to her that because he hadn't taken interest in these kind of masculine hobbies before, I wanted to foster his own identity as a boy separate from his twin sister. She accused me of being misogynist for this. She then said that I'm the butthole for making his sister feel weaker and implying that I didn't approve of his feminine interests. I don't think I'm the butthole, because there's no reason for my daughter to be inclined towards this kind of thing. But my son should be developing a more masculine personality as he gets older. When she told my wife, 41 female, she also blew up on me, saying I was acting like a cartoon misogynist. Both of them are ticked. So Reddit, am I the butthole? Now he's got edits. But yeah, you're the butthole. You are totally the butthole. I know friends who are males that like makeup, doing their hair, and all that jazz. And I'm a female that hates all that stuff. So I'm a very masculine female. So he could be ruining something he doesn't even know. But luckily, he does have some edits after this, so let's read those now. Edit. Hey everyone, I was 100% the butthole. I appreciate that some people try to empathize and say, not the butthole, to be charitable, but I am in the wrong here, and I knew it deep down while I was writing this post. Rereading it, I feel ridiculous for writing it at all. I wanted to say thank you, because these comments were the adjective kick in the ass I really needed. I realize now that I really was out of line for saying that stuff and making my daughter feel that way. I set up a stupid false dichotomy, and my daughter was very right. I was being misogynist. No excuse for that. I apologized to both of them and my wife an hour after I posted. I also shared this post with my little brother who, as I mentioned in a comment, was teased for being effeminate as a kid/teen, especially after he came out. I think some people took me mentioning that as blaming him, which wasn't my intention at all. None of my behavior is his or anyone else's fault. We talked for a while, and that, along with many of her comments you guys left, made me aware of how badly I'm treating my son. My grandpa, who raised my brother and I for most of our lives, was a manly guy who I've always idolized completely. Well, my brother made me aware that my grandpa in particular made him feel crappy about his femininity and his sexual orientation. He would regularly say degrading and terrible things. I was oblivious to just how much this hurt him, and it seemed that I've picked up on some of these same ideas. I've been such a Richard for so long, and now that I realize how absurd some of these ideas I've held onto are, I know how much of a disservice I've done to my boy. I shouldn't try to make him change just to protect him from bullies. In this situation, I'm the bully as much as it hurts to think. I'm planning on talking with him about this issue and apologizing. If we can this week, I want to let him choose something that he likes that we can do together. I'm not going to make the same mistake my grandpa did. At my brother's and some Redditors' suggestions, I'm considering trying out therapy or a support group. After a mistake, huge F up like this, I think I ought to try to be the best dad and big brother I can be and work to stop thinking that way, especially when I've already done so much damage. I'm so sorry about the extremely long edit, but thank you for your responses and helping me with this issue. I showed my wife some of the comments and she also thanks you all. Edit number 2. This will probably be my final update, but wow. I'm overwhelmed with all the responses. I wasn't expecting so many. Thank you to everyone. I'm glad you guys were honest, but still encouraging. I'm sorry I haven't been able to reply to you all. I got a lot of really kind and personal messages and I wanted you guys to know I've taken it to heart. Some people asked me what I'm going to do with my daughters since it seemed like I focused on my son in my edit. My oldest wants to try Krav Maga, so in the coming weeks we're hoping to find a place that accommodates both ages. Youngest daughter has wanted to learn how to roller skate too, so my 15-year-old may have to teach us both. I was able to talk to my son for a while this morning and apologize for yesterday. Talking about gender roles and all the trauma surrounding my grandpa may be something I'll talk to him more about when he gets older, but I got the message across that I support whatever he's interested in. I asked him about She-Ra. Some commenters told me that it was fun for adults too, and we watched a few episodes together. You guys were right. My oldest and I both thought it was very cute. I asked him what he would like to do together. He mentioned trying to alter something. I bought down a box of my old stuff from the attic, and lo and behold, I found one of those 80s Hawaiian shirts my grandpa bought me. With some guidance from my oldest, we're going to try to make it fit my son with room for him to grow into. I think it will turn out nicely, and because it's really vintage, my 15-year-old loves it. So everything is pretty good right now. I invited my brother over, lives a few hours away, for dinner so my son and I can make him something. I can't believe that I was feeling upset about him liking baking and everything. I'm lucky that my boy wants to help everyone, so I'm definitely the butthole. But I'm slowly becoming not the butthole. Thank you all. I showed my oldest some of my favorite comments and she thinks that it's really great. And I should expect a Clown of the Year award for Father's Day. So it started as a very bad story, but it became very wholesome, and I'm really happy he got his eyes open and got to heal in a way and realize that he had these subconscious thoughts and he can grow and he's going to stop the cycle that was happening. So I'm really happy that everything turned out the way it did. So that's the end of our video. I would like a comment down below what you guys think, and of course give me comments and ideas of what you would like me to change or add. And hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button if you want more from me, and of course ring that really shiny bell. I hope you have a good day or a good night. Bye!